I was late like slap on sunglasses and pray late. Alarm blaring hair doing its own weather system, last night's glitter eyeliner still hanging on for dear life. I flew down the stairs of my walk-up in New Harbor, saw a black SUV idling at the curb, yanked the back door open and said, "Harbor and Pike Tower, please, and I'm begging you, floor it." The driver started to speak and I cut him off. "I'll tip. I promise. I'll sell a kidney. Just go." He chuckled. Low and calm pulled into traffic, and that's how I hijacked the morning of a man I didn't recognize and absolutely should have. The leather smelled like cedar and rain, not like those hanging pine trees or drive-through fries. The driver wore a slate suit, no rideshare sticker watch that said, "Mortgage payment." But I was in survival mode, an underpaid finance intern at Harbor and Pike, the kind of place where being 5 minutes late feels like a crime against capitalism. I practiced my excuse to my boss, Victor Sloan, who could sniff out tardiness like a bloodhound. Train delay, gas leak, spontaneous parade, and the man in front laughed again just once, like he couldn't help it. We slid to the tower in record time. I shoved a crumpled 10 over the console. "You saved my job. Keep the change." He raised an eyebrow. "Any time." I bolted. By coffee break, I found out the truth in the worst way, an email about a joint project review with Harrington Urban. Yes, that Harrington Urban, and a quick Google to prep. And my stomach hit the elevator shaft. Staring from my screen, Cole Harrington. The ghost. Everyone in real estate swore you never met twice unless he wanted you to. Same jawline, same suit, same amused eyes I'd seen in the rear view when I said step on it. I'd tipped the city's most elusive developer $10 like he was an Uber and ran. I was setting bottled water at the conference table when he walked in. Gray suit, no tie. The room bending toward him the way expensive rooms do. Our eyes locked 1 second too, and I forgot how to be alive. Before we start, he said, easy as a warm blade. "I want to acknowledge exceptional service from your team last week. One of you provided me a very memorable ride." People laughed. My cheeks burned. Victor Sloan slid me a look that said, "Don't embarrass me." Cole didn't out me. He just let the joke sit in the air like a secret we'd share until the end of time. After the meeting, I stacked folders like it might save me. He drifted close voice just for me. "Next time," he said, "I drive you for free." Then he was gone, and my heart was a bass drum in a quiet church. It should have ended there. But the universe, or maybe my messy choices, had other plans. I got assigned to the partnership liaison team. Translation: Congratulations, kid. You're seated next to the hurricane you accidentally summoned. Our first working session. He gestured to the chair beside him. Miss Reed, right? My name in his mouth felt like a dare. I sat, pen shaking in my fingers, pretending to take notes while he ran the room with that half smile, pausing for questions he already knew the answers to. At one point, my hand brushed his sleeve, static heat, a blink of what if. He didn't move. Neither did I. In hallways, we traded jabs like boxers who liked each other too much to quit. "You planning to invoice me for that 10, he teased. "Not unless you surge price boardrooms," I said. He laughed. Quick surprise, like I'd won a point. No one usually wins with him. The shark and the intern. I know how it sounds. But I'd spent years being the invisible girl, cheap shoes, secondhand blouse, a resume built from long shifts and side hustles that left me too tired to spell my own name. I'd been underestimated so loudly it turned into a hum in my head. With him, the hum got quiet. Then came the email that knocked the furniture around in my chest. A full-time offer, real salary, real benefits, running numbers in North Point for Harbor and Pike's Eastern Division. 3 weeks to move. You ever get exactly what you prayed for and feel your knees go out? I stared at the screen, thinking of the girl who bagged groceries at night senior year, who took 2 buses to internships that paid an exposure, who learned to smile past the security guard, who always double-checked her badge. That girl deserved this. She also inconveniently had started to fall for the man whose car she mistook for a rideshare. Rain hammered the city that afternoon, hard and relentless. Cole texted, "You around near your lobby. Could use coffee, and maybe your umbrella." I met him downstairs. He was soaked head to cuffs, laughing like a kid caught in the sprinklers. You're insane, I said, handing him a warm paper towel. You said swimming was an option. We ran under my barely legal-size umbrella through a storm that had the skyline fading to watercolor, and for a little while the world felt soft. We found a quiet cafe, steamed windows, jazz you could feel in your ribs. He noticed the way I wrapped both hands around the cup like it might steady me. Something's off, he said. I told him about North Point. His face didn't shift much, but his eyes did just a flicker, then still water. That's good, he said. Is it? He held my gaze. You didn't tell me because you already know what you want. I shook my head. I know what I've worked for. That's not the same. I tried to joke I'm not about to be the girl who throws away a life for a guy with a nicer watch than my rent. But my voice cracked on life. He leaned in, elbows on wood, careful, like we were balancing glass between us. I'm not asking you to give anything up, he said. But I am asking if what's happening is real for you, because it is for me. It's messy and wrong-timed and more honest than most of my calendar. I stared at the foam I wasn't drinking. I don't know, I said, and it was the truth that hurt most. I feel it okay, and that makes me angry, because I finally got a door to open in you. And me what? You make me want a life I didn't budget for. Silence, long and tender. Rain raced the glass. He touched my fingers light as breath. Where you go, he said, is your decision. It'll never be a test I make you pass. And just like that, he let the string go slack. That night, I lay awake in my studio, the roof ticking with storm, the offer letter glowing on my phone. I thought of Victor Sloan calling me kid in rooms where he used men's first names and women's last. I thought of my mother's hands, dishwater soft, knuckle-scarred, placing $5 in an envelope labeled textbooks. I thought of Cole holding the word real like a fragile thing. Moving day was treacherously sunny. The city looked polished, like it had forgiven me for giving up my corner bakery and my lopsided ficus. I rolled my suitcase to the curb and tried not to cry over a skyline that had raised me rough, but honest. A black SUV eased to a stop. The window slid down. Ava Reed, he said, sunglasses pushed into his hair, grin that complicated gravity. Did someone order a luxury ride? My laugh surprised me. You were in North Point. Red eye back, he said. I hate bad timing. He got out, opened the passenger door like the world was simple. You're still free to go, he added softer now, almost shy. I'm not here to stop you. Then why are you here? He took a breath. To say what I should have said the first time you slammed my door and sprinted toward your life. He looked at me like I was a problem he wanted to keep solving. I like the way you take up space when you're scared. I like that you yelled at a stranger in a suit because you had 5 minutes to save your job. I like the part of you that won't apologize for wanting more. He glanced at my suitcase. And I can work from anywhere. Don't do that, I said, even as my heart was already climbing into the front seat. Don't rearrange everything for me. He smiled. Not the boardroom smile, the one nobody writes about. You think I built an empire by being romantic? This is logistics. Eastern projects need oversight. I need coffee chaos and someone who tells me when I'm wrong. His voice turned quiet. You don't owe me your decision. I'm just telling you mine. Act 3 wasn't a victory lap. It was a leap. I got in. He closed the door like it was a promise. We drove out of New Harbor with the windows cracked and a playlist we argued over, trading exits like secrets. In North Point, we found a rental with too much echo and a view of cranes swinging in slow arcs like the city was waving hello. Work didn't stop being sharp. Victor called my move ambitious for someone at your level, which is rich, coming from a man who's been at the same level since the BlackBerry. At the first Eastern review, he tried me, cut me off mid-presentation, told the room I was still learning the ropes. Before I could breathe, Cole turned his chair just enough to look Victor in the eye and said, "Then watch her tie them." I finished the numbers clean, voice steady, and when the room went quiet, it wasn't fear. It was respect, the expensive kind. Nights were takeout on moving boxes, 2 laptops dueling across a wobbly table, fights about commas and zoning makeups that tasted like cinnamon and apology. We stayed ourselves, my thrift store mugs next to his museum-grade espresso machine, my calendar full of color codes, his full of white space that meant don't try me. He didn't save me. I didn't fix him. We just met each other where the map said there was a river, and we decided to build a bridge. People ask if jumping into the wrong car can change your life. I tell them the wrong ride won't save you, but it might show you a shortcut to the person you were becoming anyway. And yes, some nights I still wonder about doors we didn't open, timelines we didn't choose. Is that doubt or discipline? Is it fear, pretending to be wisdom? I don't always know. So now it's your turn. If you were me, broke kid, turned almost somebody, standing on a curb with a suitcase and a decision, what's the right move? Walk away to prove a point about independence, or let someone meet you at your full speed and call that strength? Tell me in the comments what you've seen. Bosses who underestimate rooms that shut people out. Second chances that looked suspicious until they didn't. Was I right? Or just lucky? Hit like, subscribe, and drop your truth, because these stories don't change anything unless we argue them into something better.